everybody. Marilyn Wilson here. Great to see all of you. And Philip just left me one of our regulars just left me a wonderful message that said that he's been coming to these coffee chats regularly, and it's starting to re-energize him and help him, do the things that he knows he's supposed to do, and that it's starting to work. So congrats, Philip. I'm really happy for you. Congrats to, good morning to Dennis and Tim and a bunch of other people that are coming on. So thanks again for being here. I've got a great one for you today. And for those of you that do come regularly, I talk a lot about how to take full advantage of the MLS because it's such a great marketing tool we kind of forget about sometimes. So we've got one of my absolute favorites with us today, Trent Gardner, from a company called Listtrac. And he's going to show us today a really interesting and guess what, free way to take advantage of all of the listing exposure and lead generation that you create through all kinds of different methods, frankly, that a lot of which the MLS supports you in. So we're going to show you what that looks like. Welcome, Trent. Great to have you today.
Thank you. Good morning to all. Glad to be here.
Absolutely. So for any of you that have not been with us before or need a reminder, if you go to the right-hand side in the control panel, there's a little line that says questions, and there's a little gray triangle next to that. If you click on that, you'll be able to actually enter a question right in there, and we love it when you do because it helps us, really get for you to help you understand what we're doing here today. So yeah, let's just jump right in. So like I mentioned, Trent is the co-founder and CEO of Listtrac. He is a super smart guy, much smarter than most of us in terms of technology and a lot of things. He's built MLS systems. He's done a lot of technology in real estate for a long, long time. He's also a father of how many children? He's got a beautiful family, 6 children. So he is busy, and he's got.
They're all back at the house. They're all back at the house too.
How has that been with 6 kids doing homeschool? Wow, a little crazy.
Yes, very crazy.
Anyway, he's a great guy. So we're going to jump right in because I want you to hear all about this. Again, remember, this is a free tool that many of you can get either from your MLS or your brokerage, but he's going to tell us all about it. So just give us a quick overview. What is Listtrac, and who's got it? Just give us the kind of the elevator speech here, Trent.
Sure. So really the idea behind Listtrac came about 9-10 years ago when we were building an MLS system for Black Knight. We were helping to build, and we were building a red server that delivered listings out from the MLS to, all the different places that it goes from, the portals, agent sites, broker sites, etc. And we were like, there's really nowhere that you can go to see how your listings are performing on all these different sites. There's all these individual sites like Zillow might give you, a report, and Realtor might give you a report, and nothing from the MLS and nothing from, agent and broker sites. Wouldn't it be cool if there was one place you could go, see how your listings were performing online, see how consumers were interacting with those listings. Were they viewing them? Were they filling out leads, favoriting them, sharing them, etc. in one place? And then wouldn't it be great if you could take that information and share it back with your seller? So that's really how Listtrac came about, is just fulfilling a need of, listings go everywhere on the internet. They're viewed on all these different sites. Wouldn't it be great if you had some analytics and metrics around how consumers are interacting with it?
That's awesome. And, I think consumers, sometimes have the perception the only place that you can get anything done is like on a Zillow or sites like that. And your data shows that's really not true. They're powerful, but they're not the only place, right?
Correct. And it shows, the real data, and you can compare different things and see where you're getting your leads from and different things.
And like, where is it right now? How many agents have access to this, or are there different brokerages that have it, or how does that work?
So right now, we've have agreements with about 85 MLSs that I just added it up yesterday, represent about 950,000 agents that
Wow.
would have access to it. So all the members have access to it. And then we're working with about 400,000 brokers directly that they would have access to it. The one thing about Listtrac is it's got, there has to be cooperation. So between the MLS and brokers and portals, everyone needs to kind of, get on board so everyone can see, the true picture of the metrics. And that cooperation we've been able to put in place, and it provides great data.
Perfect. So let's jump in. Show us what this is. What's the Listtrac monitoring ecosystem? What does that mean?
So, I mean, if you start at the bottom left, you have your, an agent gets a seller, takes pictures, gets the listing information, and puts it into the MLS. And that is really what powers it. Is, as soon as the listing hits the MLS, Listtrac monitoring kicks into gear, because we're inside of the MLS system. So a matrix or a flex, we can monitor when consumers view your listing, like a Safe Search email, also when other real estate professionals view it. And we're inside of consumer sites, HomeSnap, et cetera, to where we can, monitor anytime listings are viewed. And then we're also, when those listings get sent out all over the internet, whether it's portals, broker sites, your agent site, third-party sites, et cetera, we have monitoring in place. We have monitoring in place on over 300,000 unique real estate websites, and it's easy to implement on new ones. If there's a website that we don't have that you want, we can do that pretty easily. And then, on the right side of this is, the data's on all these websites. Now home buyers come in, and on the bottom right, you can see, some of the different events that we monitor. Did they view it is the basic event? Did they fill out the lead information? Did they share it on social media or an email? Did they favorite it? And then we also know the location of that person, that consumer, meaning so you can know, are people in other states looking at your listing, or even international. So we capture that information. And then the final thing is, to bring it full circle back to the seller, is we can set up an automated weekly sellers report that you can share this information from all the ecosystem that we monitor, back to your seller to show, basically take full credit for all the sites that, the listing that you have is being viewed on, and take credit for that with the seller.
So, I mean, this demonstrates to me a great way, again, a free great way, we love free, where you take all of the different activity, which frankly, sometimes we forget to take credit for, right? The fact that once you put a listing in, I think everybody knows this, but it probably bears repeating, it goes a million places, right? It goes into the MLS system. It goes into broker and agent websites all over the local community. It goes into the portals, the Zillows, the Trulias, the Realtors, the Homes, and there's a bunch of them. There's some have as many as like 100 different sites. Then, like you say, the third-party sites like the Nextdoors, or the New York Times, or the Wall Street Journal, or if there's a local newspaper relationships that MLSs have, which a lot of them do. And then it goes also into mobile apps. So if you guys have HomeSnap, we've actually had HomeSnap on the show. If it goes into that, and then many MLSs have their own consumer-facing website. So, right, if you go to the MLS, go to their homepage, it'll say, Rochester Homes for Sale. In fact, Dennis on the show here, go to grar.com and you'll see what your MLS is doing. It's really cool. So you take all of that activity, you put it in one really nice report that you can show to your client. Like, it's a really cool, powerful way, not only to take credit with a current seller, but to show a potential seller with this one little pretty report, look what you're going to do for me. I'm going to present and promote your property everywhere. And it's a great way to show that. So yes, I just love this. I think it's awesome.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's go to the next one.
So this is kind of, this shows a little bit of the Listtrac dashboard and how to set up a seller's report. So on the left here, it just shows you, a listing. You can drill in through the Listtrac dashboard, which you can access through your MLS dashboard. There's should be a button right in your MLS dashboard that you can click on Listtrac, and it takes you to your personal dashboard. And we support different roles for dashboards. So we have an agent role, which you'd see where you're the listing or co-listing agent. We also support an office manager role. So an office manager could see the entire office and so what's going on for their metrics, and then a broker role that can see over all the offices and all the agents, for their metrics. But when you get from an agent perspective, you log in, you drill into an individual listing, and this is on the left is what it would show. It kind of shows views, leads, favorite shares, etc. On the bottom of that graph, you see a purple line and an orange line. The purple represents this listing. The orange represents similar homes in the area. So you can see how your listing is performing against similar homes in the area. And if you want to, there's a button that you can configure the similar home. If you don't like the similar homes we're showing, you can configure it, put in manual ones. It's full capability there. And then you can set up a seller's report, and you click on, set up the seller's report right there on that page, and it takes you over to the right side, which, you put in the seller information, who you want CC'd, put in a note. You can, have flexibility on when you want to send it. You can send it immediately, or you can set up to automatically send every Monday morning, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, and then you hit submit, and it sets up this seller's report that will go out to your seller. We go to the next slide real quick.
I love this part that you can show not only that you're marketing the property, but you're marketing it better than properties around them. I think that's a really cool idea.
And if you're not, you can,
right?
go back and see why you're not. Maybe you need new
right.
pictures. Maybe the price is wrong. It gives you ammo to have that discussion with your client.
Good point. Okay.
This is a weekly email that we set up with the MLSs we work with, and it just drops in your inbox every Tuesday or Wednesday. Shows you the summary of all your listings from views, etc. And then the great thing is on the right side, you can, if you want to drill into Listtrac, you just click on View More Stats. It takes you right into your Listtrac dashboard. The other thing it can do is if you want to set up seller reports directly from this email, you just click Schedule Report. You can view the preview, and you can easily schedule the reports right from the email.
So this gets pushed to an agent every week. If they and if I'm in an MLS that has Listtrac, does every agent automatically get these, or does an agent have to opt in to get the reports?
So if you have an active listing, so not every agent's going to get it. You have to have activity.
Right.
But you're automatically opted in, and you can opt out if there's an easy way to opt out.
So that's really cool. So like in this case, this person has, looks like, I don't know, 8 or 9 listings. It's pulling it from the MLS, and it's automatically populating this. So all I have to do is click on it and schedule a report for that owner, and away it goes, right?
Correct.
I don't have to add new listings. It comes in automatically.
Exactly. We have a listing feed. We're pinging it every 15 minutes or so. So, we keep your active listings up to date. And then once a listing goes off market, then, we stop the seller's report at that point.
Gotcha.
So we're constantly monitoring the MLS.
We have a comment from Edith who said, I love this tool and I use it frequently. Great job, Edith. Tell us what you use it for and how it's working. Do your clients love it? Tell us more about that. I'd love to hear more how it's working for you, because I agree with you, Edith. I think it's awesome. I'm biased. I think it's great. Okay, so these are some examples of how it might end up in your seller's inbox, right? Explain to us what we're looking at here.
So, there's different flavors of the seller's report, and we're adding more customized reports all the time. The one on the left is kind of your standard out of the box Listtrac report that you get with most of your MLSs, that shows different things, like it shows the views, but it also shows that map actually shows where your sellers are located. So are they in Europe? Are they in the Eastern United States, Western United States, etc.? Are people in New York looking to move out? All kinds of things it can show. And then trends and other things. It also shows similar homes that are on the market. Then the middle one is a custom report that we did for a broker that clean, had their the agent image, etc. It shows, the top 10 websites in the top 10 cities, and there's a link that's not shown on there, but you can link into your live stats. And then the right side is a broker that took our data in the raw form, just the metrics, and built their own dashboard. So lots of flexibility in how the data is used. But the seller report is the key thing of Listtrac, that show your seller how you're marketing their listing.
And Edith, I would love to know if you're using these seller reports and what you're hearing back from your clients. Oh, let's see, Edith's answering me. Let's see what she's telling us. She said clients do love it, and they really, really do get a better idea of how the reach is for their listing. Is especially helpful to my older clients who are very much accustomed to old-fashioned methods and are new to technology. So they don't know that putting your listing on the internet takes it everywhere, right?
Right.
Sometimes they only think of Zillow, and they don't realize that there are many, many more portals, and there's MLS sites and IDX sites and all kinds of places, right? So
exactly.
It's great. So I guess I would say to the audience, if you like what you're seeing here, again, remember this is a free report. It's a great way to take credit for what you're doing. I would do like what I've suggested in other calls. Go into your MLS, look at either the link bed or the dashboard that has all the logos on it. See if you can find Listtrac. And if so, click on it and you can do this. So it's probably already set, well, it is already set up for you, especially if you do have listings. So right. It's there for the taking, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
So this is just a summary dashboard where you can see from a broker's perspective or an office manager's perspective, even an MLS exec, you can kind of see how listings are doing across the board. You can also see where people are located, where people are looking at your listings from. At the bottom left, you can see trends, which has been interesting the last 2 months, because what are the trends going on since the state orders came into effect? How did it affect online viewership of listings, etc.? So all those trends are there. Each one of these reports, you can look at the past 24 hours, the past 7 days, the past 30 days, or you can go back custom all the way 6 months. So there's a lot of flexibility in the data you can see. The other interesting little pod, as we call them, is the bottom right, and that's actually, we're inside of a lot of MLS systems, Matrix, Flex, to name a few, to where we can show you, the activity inside the MLS system. How many agents are viewing your reports, what reports are being viewed inside the MLS, and also the safe search emails. If the client clicks on it and looks at listings, we can capture that information and show you, which reports are being viewed and how many, clients are viewing your reports. So it's a lot of great insight into the MLS and the value the MLS brings.
Yeah, I mean, like look at those numbers, and this is just as a sample report, right? It's not real, but it is a sample report from some listing. 20,000 agents viewed a particular property, and then it looks like close to 10,000 clients viewed it. So wouldn't it be great to go back to someone that you're, either again, that you're trying to get a listing for, or someone that you already have a listing for, and say, you know what, just inside the MLS in the last whatever time frame this is, I've had 30,000 views on your listing, right? What consumer doesn't want to know that you're generating that much activity for them, right? Then you can show them all the different places that it's listing, whether again it could be on local broker websites or local agent websites, the IDX sites as they call them, or it could be on Zillow or Realtor or Trulia or Homes or the MLS site itself. Some MLSs have very, very, very strong MLS consumer-facing websites. In fact, we had one of them on the show a while ago, Valley MLS, but there's many others. We kind of forget about that as a marketing source, and I can tell you that the people that are actually looking at listings on those types of websites are much, much more engaged than those that are on the third-party sites that are kind of more national in scope, right? Because if they found the local MLS website, they really are excited about what's going on in the local marketplace, right? And they also somehow you've connected them with that. Oh,
One
Edith
other
said
thing I wanted to
also,
mention. Okay, go
right,
ahead, Edith.
yeah, let me just tell me what Edith said because she's using this. This is also useful when I need to discuss price adjustments, right? And you're right, especially that report we looked at earlier, where if, let's say there's two houses that are 200,000 and one is getting 10 times more views than yours is, that's probably a stretch, but then you could say, hey, yours really should be 175 or whatever the number might be. But anyway, go ahead, Trent.
I was just going to talk about right in the middle at the top there, you have inquiries. And I just wanted to talk about inquiries and why we didn't name it leads. So inquiries in this respect is anytime your listing is viewed and someone wants more information on it, we capture it. It doesn't always mean that the lead's going to the listing agent because, you know, sometimes people own their own website and all the leads go to them, but we capture across the board all the people and show all the people that, you know, requested more information or filled out the lead information on your website, on your listing. So it's you know, valuable information that, you know, previously you really couldn't get.
Right. So this is, so if someone might reach out to me directly, let's say if I was advertising my listing on realtor.com, right? But even if I'm not, what this is again demonstrating is that you as the listing agent have been very proactive about putting their listing in a variety of different places that can that potentially can attract a buyer, right? And so even if you're not actually seeing the actual inquiry, it doesn't mean that it's not, you can't take credit for it, right? If it's on realtor.com and someone's bought that listing spot, doesn't mean that they're not going to come back and you know, represent a buyer to bring them to you, right? It doesn't matter really. If there's two sides to every deal, right? So it doesn't matter if someone has found a buyer, you can just demonstrate, look at thousands and thousands and thousands of inquiries related to your house. And that's me. I'm the agent. I'm doing all of that for you. And I know where the best places are because I'm watching this, right? So Edith can come in and she can be just the smartest of smart, right? Because she knows everything that's going on. Now, one of the other things that we've talked about, and Edith had another comment. She said, she said, good to know how our inquiry works. Yeah. So this is every inquiry, whether it actually comes to you or not. So it's awesome.
We are looking
right?
to enhance it to show the leads that go to the listing agent versus the inquiries. So, you know, that's coming down the pipe,
Good.
Edith.
Yeah, so we'll get your email, Edith. We'll get you filled in as soon as the new stuff comes out. But there's just so much richness here. And again, you know, one of the things I think that we're all guilty of sometimes is we're too humble. And we just take this nationwide exposure for granted. We assume that consumers know that we're pushing our listings all over the country, right? We assume that they know that every single broker in our market that has a website probably has a property search on it. If they do, their listing is being displayed there, right? It's not just your website, it's all of their websites. We forget that the MLS has a website. All of these different things that we're doing, we can take credit for all of that. Just because every agent has it doesn't mean every agent is taking credit for it. Edith's the perfect example, right? She's doing great things with this. And some of you may have it in your market and you're not even aware that you do. So that's one of the things I'm trying to do with Coffee Chat is bring you all this cool stuff that you don't have to pay any more than what you're already paying. And you know, what a great marketing tool. And again, think of it in your listing presentation. Think of it as your obviously keeping people excited about what you're doing and that they feel like you're really doing the right thing for them. Howard said, I came in late. Can we get these inquiries on an expired listing with all of these views, or is it only on our own listings and on an active listing? So that's a good question. Can it be for other listings? If I wanted to go in and say, hey, you know, you only got 10,000 inquiries, but I can get you 30. Can you do that, Trent?
So we have data on expired listings, yes, but there is an ownership. You know, right now MLSs don't allow you to see data on listings that you don't own.
Okay.
But you know, technically we could. It's a question of you know what we're allowed to do. So
Gotcha.
if they allow us to do it, we could show that.
Might be kind of a free for all if you did that for everyone, but
Absolutely.
it's
right now, it's you only see metrics for the listings you own.
But the truth is, Howard, for any listing, even if it's something that you did that expired or a listing that you've had, right, you can keep these dashboards, right, Trent? So you could go back and say, hey, with the marketing plan I'm recommending for you today, this is the type of listing exposure that I've been able to secure for other properties in our, your neighborhood or in your region that are of similar nature, right? So I can show you, I can get you 30,000 views on your house. I can get you 10,000 inquiries on your house, whatever the numbers might be, right?
And we are looking to add some data around that. So you can put like maybe a type of home, what are, over the past, 60 days, what's the activity for this type of home?
Yeah. Oh, for this type of home, that's interesting.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just,
So
what's
can say
the demand online? So
here's kind of what you can expect. That's awesome.
correct.
Howard says after it expires, it seems to be fair game. I don't disagree with you, Howard. That's more of an MLS policy question. So if you think that's true, then yeah, I mean, go back to the MLS because the data exists. It's just whether or not the MLS will give you guys access to it. So Trent's gathering. It's just whether or not they'll share it or not. But even if they don't, there's still tons of other ways to take full credit for this stuff, right?
Right.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, good. This is really exciting. All right, so if we wanted to know more about this, Trent, where do we go?
You can email me, Trent@listtrac.com. We're always, we're always looking to, get this in more MLSs, more brokers. We're trying to make it, as painless as possible to get this implemented. So yeah, reach out to me. I'm happy to do demos, and if you're currently in a MLS that we already service, then I'll show you how to get access to your dashboard.
Okay, great. And which brokerages again did you say, like the national brands have it, just so people might be able to go that route as well?
Century 21, Sotheby's, Remax is coming. We're working with them.
Okay.
Better Homes and Garden, ERA, Kokorian,
a lot of them.
Cry-like. So, and we're always adding to that, hoping to have some new ones that we can announce here soon.
Great. So yeah, so if you go to your MLS and they don't yet have Listtrac, certainly ask them for it, because I can tell you that MLSs respond a lot better when they get requests for things from their members. So you guys have the power to go to them and say, hey, I just saw a really cool tool. I know it won't cost me anything. It's a great way for me to take credit for all the listing exposure that you as the MLS helped me with. Go get Listtrac for me, because it's free to them too, by the way. So it won't cost them either. Here's a specific question for you, Trent. Is the program available in Space Coast on the northeast side of Florida?
It is not at this point. We're working on quite a few in Florida, Stellar, Miami, beaches, Naples. Unfortunately, not Space Coast yet.
So Jennifer, go over to them and tell them what you just heard. Hey, you know what? All the other big MLSs in Florida have this. Why don't we? Never know. They might bring it in, right? Can't hurt, for sure.
I'll definitely follow up with the CEO today and see if we can get something going.
There you go. See, Jennifer, you have the power. And is there training that you have available, or if they wanted to get training on how to use this, is that something they would do through their own local MLS or brokerage?
They can. We definitely do a train the trainer at the MLS level. If you're not getting what you want, please reach out and we can support that.
Great. And so it's Trent at Listtrac. And remember, there's 2 T's. It's Listtrac, because sometimes I forget the second T, .com. So make sure that if you want to learn more, Trent's happy to help you, and he's got a great team behind him as well. So awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about what we've got coming up. Tomorrow we've got Jack Markham, who's the general manager for Zerpal. Some of you may already be using that program, I'm not sure. He's going to show us how to learn how to capitalize on the pent-up demand. And we're seeing that in a lot of markets, where the market obviously slowed down during this, but it didn't really go away. It just got moved out a few weeks. So now that the market's open again, or many markets are starting to open again, there's all kinds of craziness and good things happening. So he's going to talk to us about, if you're in one of those situations, how do you take full advantage of that? And then on Monday, we've got Brandon Wise, who's the CEO of Wise Agent. And he's got a great product called Wise Agent, which is a client relationship management tool. And again, like many of these, he'll show you his product, but the principles we're teaching you have nothing to do with his product and can be applied to many of them. So he's going to talk about what are the things that we should be doing with our client relationship management system during quarantine as we're now starting to come out. So, these are all things that we've talked about that are just good basic sales disciplines that can make such a difference, right? Sometimes the difference between a good agent and a great agent is about this much, right? It's finding the things that work for you and doing them consistently. And boy, it can make such a difference. So if any of you would like to register, Michael, if you want to put these, the links for the chats in the chat for these two coming up, you guys can grab the links in there and you can join us tomorrow. So he'll be putting those up in a second. And and if any of you would like us to just register you automatically for the upcoming coffee chats, so we'll just push them to you automatically. You of course, don't have to come to all of them, but then you'll never miss one. Just either put it in the chat box or, I'm sorry, in the questions in here. Oh, actually, Michael just opened up. So if you want to grab the Friday's webinar, the link is in there now. Or just email me at marilyn@retechnology.com and we'll take care of that for you. We'll get you registered so you don't have to think about it. It'll just come to you automatically. Okay. And if you haven't yet done this, you can go to our YouTube channel on, obviously on youtube.com, RE Technology Inc., exactly the way I've got it on the screen there. Click the subscribe button and make sure that that bell is solid, because what'll happen is then you'll get notified every time a coffee chat recording gets published. So if you want to look at it at another time or share it with someone, or you just, we're busy and missed it, I'm sure, hopefully we're all getting more busy now. That's what I'm hoping for all of you. And if you don't yet have an RE Technology subscription, first thing is to go to that same place we talked about for Listtrac. Go into that, either that little dashboard, or sometimes there's a list of links or list of products, or wherever it might be in your MLS, and see if you've got it. And if you're not registered, click there and it'll be free. It's normally $200 a year, but it'll be free because your MLS has been gracious enough to give it to you. Or if you don't have a registration there, you can go to retechnology.com and we'll give you a free 3-month subscription. Go to the top right-hand side of the screen and it says create account. Click on that, click on the monthly option, and then type in COVID-19A and you'll get a free 3-month subscription. Okay, because we want you guys to be able to continue to hear from people like Trent, who have these gems of marketing opportunity that sometimes we forget about taking advantage of. Let me just check and see if we have any more questions. We do. Let's see. Edith says thank you. Okay. Yeah. All right. Dennis says happy Memorial Day. I would say that to all of you guys in case we won't see you for a few days. But thank you again for attending, everyone. Trent, thank you so much for showing us this. It's just absolutely one of my favorite tools.
You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
Absolutely. So everybody have a great day, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be talking with Zerpel from Jack Markham from Zerpel. He's going to have some other, I've seen his slides. He's got some really cool stuff for us to learn about tomorrow as well. So tune in, and I hope all of you are starting to see your business start to pick up again. I hope these tools that we're sharing with you every day are helping in some small way to give you an idea or get you some inspiration or something, right? To help you feel like, wow, I've got people out there that can help me be the best agent I can be. So with that, we'll tune out today. Thank you, everybody, for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow at 9 o'clock Pacific, noon Eastern. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks.